Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on automobile engineering. Today we'll discuss about the fuel supply system of compression ignition engines, that is diesel engine. To start with, we'll first discuss the objectives of fuel injection system in case of diesel engine, because we know that in case of diesel engines we used to inject the fuel inside the combustion chamber for proper mixing and for correct utilization as per the requirement. Okay, in that case, the injection system plays a major role. It may be a latest electronic injection system, or maybe an older or conventional fuel injection system, which is based on mechanical means. So the prime function of the injection system in case of CI engine is to meter, is to distribute, is to inject and maintain the correct rate and correct spray pattern and without wastage of the fuel. So metering means the selection of appropriate quantity of fuel. It must be distributed as and when required, and that depends upon the load on the engine. Because in case of CI engines or diesel engines, if we want to increase the speed of the engine, we must supply richer fuel. As a whole, we know that in case of CI engines, they generally run on leaner air fuel mixture. Okay, so when we want to increase the speed of the engine, we must supply richer fuel. So there should be a metering element which meters the quantity of the fuel or diesel that has to be burnt, okay, to meet the load requirement. So distribution must be there. The metered quantity of fuel must be distributed to all cylinders in same proportion. The air fuel ratio must be maintained equally in all the cylinders in case of multi-cylinder engine. So because in case of multi-cylinder engine we are having 4 cylinders or even more, so in that case it is not possible, or it will be difficult for the engine to grasp different richness of the fuel, because that will disturb the entire system and will generate uneven power distribution at the output shaft. Okay, so the distribution of the fuel is an important part of the fuel injection system that must be taken care by the suitable design of fuel injection system. So injection is one of the important aspects of the fuel injection system. The fuel injection must be made at correct time with respect to the crank angle. Say for diesel engines, it is about 15 degree before TDC. The fuel must be injected. Okay. So the rate of fuel injection must be correct as per the unit time or crank angle degree. So because in case of CI engines, we know that the rate of combustion can be controlled by controlling the rate of fuel injection. So it must be taken care properly. So next is the injection of the fuel must be followed using a correct spray pattern and sufficient atomization, because if we will not follow the atomization properly, then the mixing will not be proper. So there should be a system and enough injection pressure must be applied so that air can be mixed with the fuel properly. And next point that is important is the starting and end of injection must be without any dribbling. So there is no wastage of fuel. It ensures that there is no wastage of fuel. Okay, so these are the prime objectives of the injection system that must be accomplished in case of CI engine. So to obtain all these features, the key elements of the fuel injection system includes the elements like pumping elements, okay, metering elements, metering controls, distributing elements, timing controls, and mixing elements. So as the name suggests, pumping elements are used to transfer the fuel from the fuel tank to the cylinder. Okay, so these are acting on low pressure because we have to propel the fuel from the fuel tank, that is the petrol tank, to the engine. Okay, so in many instances it is possible that the fuel tank is located at the rear end. So we have to propel the fuel from there to the engine that is fitted at the front end. So in that case we used to have a pumping element. Okay, because in all the cases it is not possible to use the gravity to pump the fuel from the fuel tank to the engine or cylinder. So metering elements, as we have discussed, basically meters and measures the supply of the fuel at the rate as desired by the speed and load conditions prevailing. Okay, so I have discussed at higher loads or higher power requirement, we must supply richer fuel element, and that must be metered properly by using a metering element. So metering controls are the controls that are used to adjust the rate of metering elements for changes in load and speed of the engine. So some elements are there which are used for distributing the fuel to different cylinders. So equal distribution is an important aspect as we have discussed. So it must be distributed properly. So next point is the timing controls which are used to control the timings of the fuel supply. That is, the starting and ending of the injection must be as per the required timing. Okay, and it must be injected at proper angle before the start of the combustion. So mixing elements are the elements that are used to atomize and distribute the fuel within the combustion chamber and help proper mixing of fuel with air. So we can discuss here the fuel injection effect. What happens in case of the fuel injection and in terms of crank angle travel. So take here a case, a small direct injection engine will have a period of about 25 degrees crank travel, small di. We'll study about this di also. In that case, you must know, in case of di, direct injection, the fuel is injected over the top of the piston in the cavity provided. Okay, we'll see this. And an injection pressure exceeding 400 bar. While large engines may have periods approximating 40 degree with high pressure, that is around 1000 bar. So this is required. The injection pressure plays an important role, and crank angle also an important parameter for the proper running of the engine. If it is a high speed engine, then the requirement is different. If it is a low speed engine or small engine, then the requirement is different. So this figure shows a diesel engine fuel supply system adopted only for the demonstration purpose. So we have different elements like fuel filters, we have fuel accumulator, okay, we have fuel pump for pumping the fuel from the tank to this system or engine, and we have cold start injectors, we have injection tract, we have manifold. So as we can see here, this is a multi cylinder engine. In this, 4 cylinders are fitted and the injectors are located at several locations. Okay, so these are the location of the injectors. So we'll classify the fuel injection system as IDI or indirect injection system and DI or direct injection system. So in case of IDI, we can see here the fuel is not directly injected over the top of the piston cavity. Okay, in CI engines it is important to have a piston cavity because we don't have time to mix it outside the cylinder. So the fuel is injected inside the combustion chamber or inside the cylinder, and it has to be mixed with each other within a short span of time. So for that we need to have a cavity in the piston, and this cavity maybe shallow depth like this type of cavity, or maybe this type of hemispherical cavity. So in case of indirect injection system, so we used to inject the fuel inside the pre-combustion chamber. Through this pre-combustion chamber, there is a throttle through which the fuel and air mixture passes to this part, that is the main combustion chamber. So in case of IDI, that is indirect injection, we are not directly injecting the fuel inside the combustion chamber, main combustion chamber. We are injecting indirectly onto the pre-combustion chamber. From here it is supplied to the main combustion chamber. In case of DI or direct injection combustion chamber, we have a combustion chamber like this inside the piston, that is shallow depth in nature, and we used to fit the injector inside the combustion chamber over the top of the piston. So the fuel is directly injected inside this cavity. Okay, so the proper air fuel mixture is being ensured here in this cavity of the piston. So in total, what we have differentiated, in case of IDI or indirect injection, the fuel is injected in a pre-combustion chamber, and through a throttle valve throttle it passes to the main combustion chamber. In case of DI or direct injection, so we have a, the injector fitted over the top of the piston cavity directly. There is no pre-combustion chamber. So that is the difference between IDI and DI. Okay. So this is a sort of DI piston about which I was talking. So there is a cavity inside the piston in which that acts as a combustion chamber, or that is the main combustion chamber of the DI system. And indirect injection system, we can see here there is a pre-combustion chamber, there is an orifice, and there is small space over the piston. So here we can see that there is a small space over the piston for combustion. So main combustion chamber's volume is less as compared to the that part, as compared to the DI combustion chamber's volume. So now we'll classify the fuel injection system. So there are mainly two classifications for fuel injection system. They are air injection system, okay, and other one is solid or airless injection system. So this air injection system utilizes a compressed air, high pressure air for injecting the fuel. And solid doesn't mean a solid substance. It stands for like diesel injection system. Solid here means the diesel fuel spray injection system. Okay, so these are broader classifications of the injection systems. So as we have seen, in case of air injection, the fuel is pressed in the cylinder by means of compressed air, or forced inside the cylinder by means of compressed air. So obviously that requires a bulky multi-stage compressor which increases the weight and reduces power output. So nowadays it is not in use. Okay. Second one is that is commonly used nowadays is solid injection system. So in which liquid fuel, that is diesel, is being injected in the cylinder directly without any compressor. There is no need of a compressed air, or there is no need of a compressor. So it is also called as airless mechanical injection system or solid injection system. The solid injection system or airless mechanical injection system may further be classified as individual pump and nozzle system, unit injector system, common rail injection system, and distributor system. So we'll discuss these classifications of the solid injection system. So in case of solid injection system, the first classification is individual pump system. So this individual pump system consists of a separate metering and compression pump. We'll see in the figure for each cylinder. So mind it here that there is a separate metering element and there is separate compression pump. There is a small pump which is separate for each cylinder. So it means that we have 4-cylinder engine, then we'll be having 4 metering element and 4 pumping element. Okay, for each cylinder we have a separate unit. The high pressure pump plunger is activated by means of a cam and produces the final pressure necessary to open the injector valve. So here we can see that. To start with, we first look over here, that is the storage tank or fuel tank in which the fuel is stored through fuel filters and a small pump, and again secondary filter with a pressure of around 40 psi created by this pump, that will be supplied to the metering elements. Okay, so these will be creating high pressures. So as we can see here, this is cam operated mechanism that is being operated by the engine itself. Okay, and there are 4 units of injection system. So these are known as fuel injection pumps. So these are acting at high pressure. Okay, these are high pressure pumps. So this low pressure pump and low pressure diesel is being supplied to the these 4 metering and pressure pumps, and 4 here because we have 4-cylinder engine. Okay, so this is first cylinder, this is second for second cylinder, for third cylinder, for fourth cylinder. So in this case we control the quantity load, and we also control the metering part. Okay, so these are the metering and pressure pumps. So these are used to meter and pressurize the fuel that is being supplied or injected inside the cylinders. So we'll see next how this will be creating a high pressure. So this is the individual fuel injection pump. Okay, that is a single unit. Okay, that we have studied. Okay, so what is there inside this particular injection pump? So this is the high pressure pump that we have just now discussed. Okay, see here. So there are 4 metering and pressure pumps, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this has been dissected for proper understanding, and in this figure we can see the dissection part. Okay, so this metering element and pumping element has a plunger. So now see the parts of this particular system. So we have a barrel. Okay, this is a barrel. We have spill port, we have supply gallery, we have ring seal, we have delivery valve seat, this is seating, delivery valve spring, and delivery valve holder. Okay, this can be opened from here, and this is our control rack. Okay, control rack that is being operated by the foot of the driver. There is a feed port for feeding the diesel inside this particular cylinder barrel. So we have the gearing system, upper spring plate, control sleeve, plunger spring, and plunger control lug, and this is the horseshoe lower spring plate. So what happens? We can see that in this case, the plunger is not a cylindrical part. In fact, it is made cylindrical, but here we have removed some material. Okay, so this is the feed port through which the fuel will be fed inside this barrel. Okay, so inside this, the fuel will be filled by using the low pressure pump. So that low pressure pump at 40 psi supplies the fuel to fill inside this barrel or cylinder, and this plunger moves up and down by the cam motion. So there is a cam and roller follower that used to press this particular element above. Okay, and here we have some springs. This spring can be seen here. So this is used to bring it back to the original position. So when the low portion of the cam comes in contact with the plungers, this part, okay, so this pushes the plunger to move up. Okay, so whatever the oil filled here will be compressed and will be supplied using delivery valve to the injector for injection purpose. Okay, so the quantity of the fuel, okay, the metering part will be done by this helix. This is known as helix, this cut portion. So this can be turned by moving the control rack. We can turn this helix part from left to right. So when it is pulled here in this side, when the control rack is pulled towards the left side, this side, so what will happen? This helix will come to the spill port part. So whenever the plunger moves up, so it will leak out the fuel that is being present here. Okay, so the pressure cannot be built. So unless until this helix part comes in contact with the spill port, this the compression will take place. So this actually meters the quantity of the diesel that has to be injected inside the uh, cylinder through injector. Okay, so broader sense we'll see from here. So now we can understand the see here the position of the this helix. Now in this case, port open, so barrel is being filled. Okay, from spill port and from intake port, from both the ports or feed port, the barrel will be filled. Port cut off, beginning of injection. So when this plunger moves up, this passage and this passage, feed port and spill port gets closed. So this in turn compresses the fuel that has been injected or that has been admitted inside this barrel part. Okay, so further movement of the plunger upward due to the action of the cam will compress the fuel. Okay, unless until this cut portion or helix portion comes in contact with the spill port. As soon as this cut portion or helix portion come in contact with the spill port, whatever the pressure was built over here will be leaked out through this helix. Okay, here there is no leaking, the pressure will be building because entire system will be pressurized unless until this cut portion comes in contact with the spill port. So this is the principle of operation of this individual fuel injection pump. So we can understand when there will be maximum delivery. So when the helix portion is on the leftmost side, then it will never come in contact with the spill port. So this will be the case of maximum delivery. For normal delivery, when the driver pushes the pedal, then this control rack will move further. This will come towards this side. Okay, at the center. Okay, then what will happen? The helix portion will come in contact with the spill port after traveling half of the distance. So this will be normal delivery, and if you want to stop the engine, so driver will use a lever to pull towards him, and that will in fact move the helix portion towards the right side, and due to this the entire fuel that is being supplied over here will be leaked out, okay, from the spill port. So this is the principle of operation of the individual fuel injection pump. Now we'll discuss about the distributor pump, the second classification, distributor pump. So that is a part of airless or mechanical or solid injection system. The second classification of solid injection is distributor pump. So this is used in light trucks, cars, farm tractors, okay, and old vehicles. So this is using a single pump for compressing the fuel, which may also meter. So pumping and metering may be done by this unit. A delivery device for distributing the fuel to the cylinders, which may also meter, is used. So the cost is very less, 2 by 3 of the individual pump, because we are not having, for example, for a 4-cylinder engine, in that case, in the case of individual pump, we were having 4 metering and pumping element, but here we have single metering and pumping element that is supplying or feeding to all 4 cylinders. So the cost is very less. So here we can see that in case of distributor pump, storage tank, filters, primary filters, low pressure pump, filter 40 psi pressure, quantity load control, metering and pressure pump, that is the common, and this is being operated by the camshaft, and this is the distributor. So this is not pressurizing the fuel. In fact, that is being, that is only supplying the metered quantity of fuel to different cylinders. So this is the function of the distributor, and that is a single unit. Okay, these are not individual pump. The entire metering and pressing action is being taken care by this metering and pressure pump. Okay, so this is a single unit that is supplying the metered quantity of fuel to all the cylinders, and distributor has only the function to distribute it among all the cylinders. So that is the difference between individual pump and distributor pump. Now we'll see the most common type of fuel injection pump, that is known as common rail fuel injection pump, that is used in most of the cars. So in that case, we have a single pump for compressing the fuel. We have an accumulator, common accumulator or reservoir for storing the fuel. Metering element for each cylinder is there. Okay. So here we can see that that is used in modern cars. So we have a electronic fuel injection system, ECU, that is known as engine control unit or electronic control unit. Okay. So for a 4-cylinder engine, we have 4 injectors here. So here what is common, we can see that the tank is there, fuel filter, fuel pump, fuel temperature sensor, because that is an electronic control unit. It requires the inputs like temperature and pressure. Pressure regulating valve, so it is also connected with the engine control unit. High pressure pump, rail pressure, and there is a common rail and there is a distributor pipe or a rail in which the entire high pressure diesel is being stored over here. From this accumulator, this is being supplied to all the injectors, okay, distributed to all the injectors, and the entire system is being controlled by the electronic control unit. So the sensors are connected to the ECU and the signals are sent uh, uh, to and fro. That is, these injectors are being controlled or operated by the electronic control unit signal. Okay, so it senses the pressure and temperature, and through other sensors of the engine like pedal sensor, like oxygen sensor, like other exhaust gas sensors. So this gets the information. On the basis of that pedal sensor or other sensors, this meters the quantity of the fuel. Like the driver presses the pedal to accelerate the speed of the engine. In that case, the electronic control unit gets a signal that the pedal throttle valve is opened more. In that case, it increases the supply of the fuel to the injectors, and the more quantity of fuel is being injected inside the cylinder. So that is commonly used nowadays in most of the modern cars and systems. Now the fourth classification is a unit injector system. So that unit injector system is having a pump and injection. So nozzles are combined in one housing. So each cylinder is provided with one of the units. Okay, that is a unit injector system. Okay, so two elements, see here, two elements like pump and injection nozzles are combined in one housing. So in a single housing we have a pump and an injection. So each cylinder is provided with one of these units. Okay, in previous case we have seen that the pump is separate, injector is separate. Okay, here we have a single unit, pump and, so that is a modification of individual pump system in which the pump and injection system, fuel injection pump and fuel injector are combined. So fuel is brought to the injector by a low pressure pump, where at the proper time a rocker arm actuates the plunger and thus injects fuel into the cylinder. Now we'll cover the spray delivery devices. And injector in case of diesel engine is the spray delivery device. So that injector is responsible for producing the desired spray, the correct angle, the size of the particles to be distributed inside the combustion chamber for proper mixing. So injector is very important for the spray behavior. So once the fuel is injected, there is no way to change the spray pattern of the fuel. So it plays a major role to control the spray pattern to maintain the proper angle as per the requirements of the DI or the IDI system of the combustion chambers. Okay. So these are the diesel fuel injectors that are being used for the injection of the fuel inside the combustion chamber. So this is being manufactured by Bosch. This has been adopted from the Bosch official website only for demonstration purpose. So this company is pioneer in manufacturing of diesel fuel injectors and other injectors. So I have shown here the images of the Bosch fuel injector system. So we can compare here the difference between mechanical and electronic fuel injectors, because in older days we used to use the mechanical fuel injection system that we have seen in today's lecture, and we also nowadays we used to use the electronic fuel injector system that is being controlled by the electronic control unit. So in case of mechanical fuel system, what happens? There is a mechanical injection. The high pressure fuel comes inside this particular chamber. So this is the injector body. Inside this we have the passage for supplying the high pressure fuel. This high pressure fuel is acted upon this valve, and this is being lifted by the pressure of the fuel, and this passage gets opened and the fuel is being injected, and this is the spring which retracts back the barrel or this nozzle to its original position. Okay, so this was entirely done by mechanical means. Nowadays we have the electronic control unit to control the fuel injection supply system. So in that electronic control unit, the signals are being sent to the this injector. So this is basically an electromagnet. So it gets the signal from the electronic control unit in the form of some voltage and current, and this electromagnet magnetizes and produces magnetic effect here. So due to this magnetic effect, what happens? This valve is being lifted, and due to which the lifting of the valve, the high pressure fluid is being sprayed from here. So this is the injector body. So when we want to cut the supply of the fuel, the electronic control unit sends the signal to power off this electromagnet. So while powering off the electromagnet, what happens? The magnetic field collapses, or it gets off, and due to which the spring comes in action and brings back the valve to close position. So this is the way by which the electronic fuel injectors are being working. Okay. So one of the important features of the injector is to maintain proper spray tip penetration that depends upon the space available inside the combustion chamber, depth of spray. Okay, so that is why the spray tip penetration is important. The spray angle is an important parameter in which it depends upon the factor whether we are using a DI or an IDI system, direct injection or indirect injection system. So this theta is small in case of IDI system because we have a small pre-combustion chamber. In that only we have to spray the fuel. But in case of open combustion chamber, we are dependent upon multiple hole nozzles. So because the spray angle or included angle must be high to cover maximum portion of the combustion chamber, because the combustion chamber is larger in size, okay, and in nature. So that is very important. So droplet size distribution is also an important parameter. If we are spraying a bigger droplet size fuel inside the combustion chamber, so there may be possibility that it will not readily mix with the air. So in order to ensure that the droplet size plays an important role, and for that we have to maintain the proper uh, pressure angle, proper angle and proper pressure. So we'll see here some examples, like we used to use some types of nozzle like single hole nozzle, we used to use multiple hole nozzles, we use pintle nozzle and Pintox nozzle. In fact, the single hole nozzles are being used in the open in the pre-combustion chamber type or IDI combustion chamber type of systems. Okay, in case of pre-combustion chamber, we have a pre-chamber as we have discussed. In that pre-chamber, this single hole nozzle used to spray the fuel. Okay, so in that case of single hole nozzle, the diameter of the hole through which the fuel is to be sprayed is around 0.25 mm, and the pressure maintained is 8 to 10 megapascal. Okay, and the spray cone angle is less and it is around 15 degree. If we want to go for multiple hole nozzle, the diameter is approx similar, but number of holes depends upon 3, 4, 5, 6. That depends upon our requirement, and diameter is varied from zero point 0.2 to 0.3 mm, and the pressure is kept high because we have multiple hole nozzles, so pressure is kept high. It is around 18 megapascal, and the spray cone angle is more as compared to the single hole nozzle, that is around 20 degree. So we have another set of nozzles that is known as pintle nozzle. In that case, a pin is used to avoid the dribbling of the fuel after injection is cut off. So this dribbling may lead to the wastage of the fuel. So the fuel economy will not be maintained if there is some dribbling. So in order to avoid the dribbling, in the hole a pin is fitted. So that ensures that no droplet of fuel will be injected after the end of injection. Okay. So in that case of pintle nozzle, that is like a single hole nozzle in which the pressure is maintained similar to the single hole nozzle, 8 to 10 megapascal, and the spray cone angle is very high because we have a pin to ensure that there is no wastage of the fuel by means of dribbling. So that is why we can keep the spray cone angle high. Okay, so the benefits of the pintle nozzle is that we can avoid the dribbling and weak injection and prevents carbon deposits over the various parts. So that is used in pre-combustion chambers and air cell chambers and high swirl chambers. So this pintle nozzle with high degree angle, spray cone angle, may be used in various pre-combustion chambers, that is IDI chambers, air cell chambers and high swirl chambers. So other version of the pintle nozzle is an advanced version that is known as Pintox nozzle. In this Pintox nozzle, we have a main hole which is being operated by a pintle, okay, or a pin, and an auxiliary hole. So we can understand that whenever this valve is being operated, the main hole will be opened only when the pin will be removed from the hole. So in that case, there is no injection of the fuel before the removal of the pin from the hole. So here we have, in the sideways we have auxiliary holes which are used to provide or spray fuel when the pintle is lifted to slight angle, to slight distance. Okay, so these are auxiliary holes. So this ensures a better cold starting. So because at it injects small amount of fuel before main injection starts through the main hole. So needle valve does not lift fully at low speed, and at this low speed the fuel is being supplied by the auxiliary hole. So these are two benefits. At low speed operation, auxiliary holes may be working sufficiently, so it will economize the fuel, and at cold starting period also the main auxiliary holes will be supplying some of the fuel for starting the engine. Okay, so will different versions of the nozzles will be discussed here now. Throttling pintle nozzle, we can see here, this is a pintle, that is a pin. So this is throttling pintle nozzle which closes this opening. So through this opening the fuel will be sprayed. Okay, so this is the bottommost part of the injector, that is known as nozzle. So from here the fuel, high pressure fuel, comes here to this end, and this high pressure acts over this valve and lifts it up. So while this is lifted up, the fuel is being sprayed from this opening. Okay, and this pin that is known as pintle is used to close this particular hole. So other versions of pintle nozzle are with the flat cut pintle. So here we can see that that is not conical in shape, that is a flat cut pintle, because we can see the side view and the front view. So when combined together, you can imagine that it's like a bar. Okay, so hole type nozzle with conical blind hole, this is also used. So here we are having multiple hole used in open type combustion chamber. So as we have discussed, this depends upon like 2 holes, 3 holes, 5 holes, 9 holes. That depends upon the extent of the combustion chamber that we have designed. Okay, so this is multiple hole nozzle with a pintle, which is conical in shape. So now we'll see the last element of the fuel supply system of CI engines, that is a fuel filter, and that is a low pressure pump that is fitted, that we have seen the in the linings, it is fitted at two locations. Okay, so a low pressure transfer pump or fuel feed pump which pressurizes the fuel up to 2.5 bar, that is required to lift the fuel from the fuel tank and it supplies to the engine to overcome the pressure drop in the filters and to charge the metering or pressuring unit. Okay, so three filters are generally recommended. So the prime task of the filters is to filter the fuel so that the clean fuel must be supplied inside the injector assembly. Okay, and the pumping element. So because you know that in case of diesel engines, if we supply dirty fuel, that may choke the system, that may cause rapid wear and tear of the components that are moving relative to each other. So a primary stage filter is generally a metallic filter, and this is basically edge filter to remove the coarse particles, and the size of the particles may be larger than 25 microns. They are being separated by the primary stage filter. A secondary stage filter is also used, that is a replaceable cloth filter or a paper or lint element to remove the particles in the range of 4 to 25 microns particle size. Okay, so that is the secondary stage filter. And a final stage filter, that is a sealed or non-replaceable element that is used to remove the fine particles that are escaped through the secondary stage filter. So these three stage filters are generally used inside the fuel supply system of the CI engines or diesel engines. So this is the reference, and other references are marked at the